Steve Cooper, you're going to tell us a story about Vladimir and Eugene Volokh.
I would be glad to, the best I can. They're amazing characters, the entire family is. They were refuseniks, all born in Russia and in Leningrad. And they knew they had something unusual in their firstborn, Eugene, when he basically taught himself to read at 2, and by 3 could name every country.
Can't hear you.
Could name every country
Face the people across from you.
and capital in the world.
No, don't face him. Face the people across from you.
Talk to Michael Mahoney.
Okay, hello. So they made sure he didn't enter kindergarten until they were able to move here. And they eventually did move here, and let's see, there's so many stories. His father became a computer programmer. Eugene tagged along somewhere around the age of 8 or 9 one Saturday. And, his father was trying to work. He'd say, "What's this, Dad?" And he says, "It's a computer, leave me alone. You know, how does it work? The manual's over there, go read it, leave me alone." And within a few months, he was programming the 3000. Shortly after that, they formed VEsoft, Vladimir and Eugene Software. Vladimir quit his job doing that. I first met him at a users group meeting. It was a birds of a feather session in the evening where HP had the architects, the people writing the operating system, and there were a bunch of us diehards who didn't have enough meeting all day long and wanted to spend their evening talking about memory management and dispatcher routines. And here's this 13-year-old kid carrying on a debate saying, well, if you had chosen this other algorithm, I would expect things to go 5 or 10% faster. And it was just amazing. So many of us met Eugene at that point. He got a summer internship at HP where Stan was his mentor. And it was kind of interesting. HP would often bring summer interns in, but this was the first one who needed his grandmother to drive him back and forth to HP each day. His license was still a few years away. Of course, Eugene went on to become the youngest graduate from UCLA and the youngest graduate from UCLA Law School, and then to become the youngest tenured professor at UCLA. He clerked for Sandra Day O'Connor. His birthday, like everything else is unusual about Eugene's birthday, is February 29th, so he turned 10 this last leap year.
Now, VEsoft is one of the companies was on our list. We tried to get someone to come race work on that.
I
It didn't
communicated
succeed. I
with
thought
Eugene.
you
He
ought
had
to
a
make
seminar or something.
A little bit of a story, part of the record. Grace?
Does everybody remember his mother serving pierogies at their booth at the
Right.
conferences? And the two proud parents and this 12 or 13-year-old kid.
I guess there's a lot of us
Eugene's
that will
kid
go
brother
ahead.
Sasha's an amazing
Now-
person too.
I can't hear you, Fred.
Sasha's an amazing person too.
The mother?
No, that's his younger
Oh, is
brother.
that-
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, who only has an IQ that started with a 1, so he's the he's sort of the idiot of the family, but also now has a number of advanced degrees and is quite successful as well.
I just left my salesman at the booth at Interact for just a moment and said, Mike, just remember the things I've told you about spreadsheets. Nobody will ask you in-depth questions. And in the 3 minutes that I was gone, Eugene showed up and started asking him about how the software was implemented. When I got back, he was totally frazzled. Mike was totally frazzled. He said, this kid came up and asked me all these questions, didn't know any answers. It was Eugene.
So I just wanted to pose a question that maybe either Stan or Steve can answer. If you could characterize why MPEX exists, because as I've met with Vladimir, I get the impression that they've always thought this is what MPE should have been, or should have been able to do, and it seemed that, you know, as much as anything that was out there. Go
I
ahead.
can shed some light on that. Somewhere around 79 or 80, Walt McCullough of HP Lab actually wrote something like MPEX.
Really?
Eugene saw it and then took the implemented the idea outside. He may not remember it. Walt remembers it, and I actually found Walt's MPEX on a tape about 10 years ago. So it didn't originate with him. The idea of being able to do wild-carded commands
Yeah.
is a very common idea. And I think HP decided we have other things to work on rather than small enhancements. Let's do major enhancements. But I don't think they realized how important the small enhancements can be.